Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us on another virtual town hall from the Department of Workforce Services. I'm Ty Stockton. I'm the communications manager for the Department of Workforce Services. I'm going to sort of stall for a little bit of time here as people trickle in. Generally, the attendees don't all get let in all at once, so I'm just going to give you a chance to make it in. And thanks for coming. Thanks for tuning in. As I'm sure you know, since you're tuning in today, the Federal Pandemic Unemployment Compensation, or FPUC, the $600 a week additional funding that's being added to unemployment claims, is ending at the end of this week. So that'll be, that in its current form will be going away, and nothing has been set up to take its place yet. But we're here to tell you that we have quite a few other resources available to anyone who needs them at the Department of Workforce Services and through your local workforce center. We have representatives from our unemployment insurance division. We have Marva, Amy, and Kay to talk to you about that. And we have Andrea and Christina from the Workforce Centers and the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act program. And then we also have Brian, who's here from our vocational rehabilitation program, to give you information on folks who may need some assistance with getting work, who have other barriers to employment. So I am going to start off with our unemployment division, and I'm going to open up a PowerPoint here, and either Marva, Kay, or Amy will take over and walk you through. We just get you started. So I believe I think Amy's going to take over. So Amy, thanks for joining us.
You've got it. Hello, good afternoon, everybody. I'm going to just touch base a little bit on the CARES Act programs in Wyoming and where we're at right now, and then we'll move forward into the Workforce Center information. So as everyone knows, the extra $600 weekly payment of FPUC is ending as of July 25th. That is per the federal government. They only made that available from March 29th through July 25th. And at that point in time, the extra $600 goes away from your weekly benefit amount, but you are still eligible for regular unemployment or for the pandemic unemployment assistance, for the emergency extension. It's just that they will be the regular weekly benefit amount based upon your wages, and they won't have that extra $600 on top. So just keep that in mind. It's not saying that you're completely done with unemployment. You're still more than welcome to keep filing if you've got a balance on your claim, and you can look all of that information up on your claim summary online. It will let you know what program you're on, your weekly benefit amount, and the balance remaining. So just a little more information in regards to the CARES Act programs. The extra $600 ends on July 25th. However, the pandemic unemployment assistance, which goes for 39 weeks total, that is still available all the way through December 26th. And the extension of an extra 13 weeks is still available between now and December 26th. There is also going to be a second extension that will be available as soon as we have the coding ready in our system. It is effective as of July 12th. It's another 13 weeks of the same weekly benefit amount that you were already receiving on your regular unemployment claim. It's very similar to the pandemic emergency unemployment compensation extension. This extended benefits program has a few more qualifications to it than the regular extension. And as we roll that out, we will probably have another town hall to explain those things to you. The good news is with this extended benefits program, you do not have to apply for it. If you are eligible to receive the extension, the system will automatically roll you over to it when you run out of your pandemic emergency unemployment compensation extension. All right, I think that's it for me. So after FPUC ends, what do you do next? And that's where the local office is going to take it over.
Thank you, Amy. So I'm going to turn it over to Andrea here to let you know about what else is available. Andrea?
All right, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks so much for joining. I'm Andrea with the Wyoming Department of Workforce. We have 20 workforce centers that can assist you with a variety of services. And so we really want to make sure that we offer an opportunity to register to look for work at any of those 20 local workforce centers. Next slide, please. We have a variety of job seeker services available for you at the workforce centers. Like I mentioned earlier, on our wyomingworkforce.org website, we do have the location for the 20 centers. And then how can we help you? Next slide. We also do a lot of work behind the scenes to help you look for a job. Some of the things that workforce specialists do is we have business representatives and they work with employers to post those openings. We also have workforce specialists assisting with registering on Wyoming at Work, also resume creation and ongoing resume support. Essentially, if you don't have a resume, we can help you with a resume builder in Wyoming at Work or just uploading a resume if you have one that's already existing. And then also to help you if you haven't been in looking for a job for a long time, completion of job applications, either helping you navigate any of the company's online or paper applications, and then also interview preparation. We can also set up interview panels to assist you with a mock interview. Next slide, please. In our workforce centers, we have resource rooms available for job seekers. And so they have internet access. We have expedited queues for unemployment insurance phones and online access. We also have scan, copy, and fax assistance. And then also we can assist you to mail any of your job applications if you need to send a resume to an employer, especially during this special time. Additionally, veteran services that we have, we want to make sure that we're serving those who served us. We have a priority of service, so all veterans get to go to the front of the line. Additionally, we have a Jobs for Veterans State grant program available. We have disabled veterans outreach program specialists available in our workforce centers. If there's not one directly in your workforce center, then we will get them to get a message and have them come visit, or also visit virtually. They assist our veterans with additional resources and community resources. Next slide, please. We can also assist you with an introduction to our Wyoming at Work online job matching system. And it's essentially a free service and it helps job seekers. And so it's really interactive system. Next slide, please. It has access to jobs all the way throughout Wyoming. Also, we have some out-of-state employers, which we really want you to stay in Wyoming. You can also have a history of all the jobs that you're applying for. Like I mentioned earlier, the ability to upload resumes if you already have a professional resume, creating a job alert, and then it's an online job matching system. Additionally, it has components such as Allison that has some online learning especially in Microsoft Office, Excel, Word. It even has some components of customer service available. So check out all of the online learning resources available on wyomingatwork.com as well. Here's just a snapshot of what the homepage looks like for wyomingatwork.com. Has just a variety of features. If you have not registered, you can just click on not registered and it will ask you a lot of questions, and it's truncated like most websites, so it will just help you kind of move through the process. However, at any time, like I mentioned earlier, we have workforce specialists available in any of our 20 workforce centers. You can also contact us via the telephone, and we can also help you walk through this process. So Wyoming at Work is an online job matching system. So when you're entering your information, it will ask a lot of information in your background wizard. It will go over your skills, kind of all of your education, your employment history, and then also it has notifications that can be sent directly to you, either in your internal message center or your email. It also has a text functionality. We also have a variety of employers that log into wyomingatwork.com, and they will also do a search for candidates based on their knowledge, skills, and abilities. So it's really a good hidden job market tool for you to utilize to make sure that if you have your resume and skills all updated, an employer could potentially reach out to you without you applying for their job. Next slide, please. Resume Builder, I mentioned this earlier. It's just a really good tool. After you complete your resume, it actually gives you the option to search for jobs based upon the information you entered into Wyoming at Work. There's also functionality that helps you explore transferable occupations based upon your knowledge, skills, and ability. And then also, if you do not have a resume in Wyoming at Work, it has really a step-by-step guide. It will ask you questions on your education. It will ask questions on your employment history. I would recommend at least going back a minimum of 5 to 10 years. And then also, the Workforce Center staff searches for employers. We have a variety of employers that call our business representatives in the workforce centers, and they post openings. Right before this town hall meeting, I checked, and currently we have approximately 700 job orders with approximately 1,700 job openings available. And those are just the ones that are posted through our business representatives. So lots of good contacts. We usually tell job seekers that the squeaky wheel gets the grease. If you work with a workforce specialist, they also have good relationships with the business reps, and they may have some hidden information on that job opportunity of what information will help get your application resume to the top of the pile. And then this is essentially how we match the jobs with job seekers. Next slide. Job search. That is something that really, with Wyoming at Work, it will help you navigate a variety of job postings. So in the job search, it has a variety of mechanisms to help. Like I mentioned earlier, employers post ads in Wyoming at Work. You can do a search on a job search just via a keyword. You could do an occupation. You could look for just a particular employer. Some additional options in Wyoming at Work is a spider software. So what the spidering software does is it goes out and grabs jobs that are in Wyoming. These can come from even like Monster or LinkedIn. It could come from a corporate website. It could also come from maybe a newspaper ad. So this is essentially helps you kind of streamline your job search and make it almost like a one-stop shop for your job search. Virtual recruiter, this is an automatic job functionality. So essentially, once you get all of your information, your background, your resume, all of your information into Wyoming at Work, you can actually enable a virtual recruiter. You can set it up to run daily, weekly. You can have it look for construction type positions. You could have it look for administrative positions. And like I mentioned earlier, these alerts can go even to your email, to your Wyoming at Work account. It will just pop up when you log on like you have mail. And then also a text message to say, check your Wyoming at Work account. So Wyoming at Work tries to work when you're not logged on to the system. The Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act is really a great federal program that helps strengthen our employment and training options for our workforce system here in Wyoming. It is a mandated program and it's administered by the Department of Workforce Services. Next slide, please. A variety of services can be provided for WIOA, the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act. We really want to individualize them based upon your individual needs. We do this through a variety of services. We can do a career interest profiler for your skills, aptitudes, and abilities. We can also enroll you into the WIOA program, develop an individual employment plan, and help you reach your employment and or training goals. And then also through this, have a workforce specialist that can help you overcome any of those barriers to reaching those employment and training goals. While you're actively engaged in the Workforce Innovation and Opportunities Act, we also offer support services when there's a documented need. And then also when all of the information that we shared earlier in relations to job search and mock interviews and those types of things, when they're unsuccessful and training is recognized as the next step in your employment plan, then we can explore any high demand, high growth occupations that lead to self-sufficiency. These could also include on-the-job training opportunities as well. Next slide, please. And with WIOA programs, we can help a multitude of individuals. It could be an adult, and that's age 18 or older. We can also help in-school youth, that's age 14 to 21. We can additionally help out-of-school youth, ages 16 to 24, and then also dislocated workers. And right now, the majority of individuals who are laid off would fit into this category, not all, but if you have been laid off through no fault of your own, you may be eligible for dislocated worker program. And so to discuss this program further, please call any of your local workforce centers and let them know of your interest for the program, and then schedule an appointment, and they will be happy to assist you through that process. Next slide.
Oh, that's it.
Sorry.
For your presentation, Andrea.
Okay.
And before we get to Brian with vocational rehabilitation, I just want to remind folks that if you have a question, if you want to ask a question about anything that we've presented so far or anything else you have questions about, use the Q&A feature. You may have to hover your mouse over the bottom middle of the screen, but use that Q&A feature to ask us a question. And then when we're done with this presentation, we will get to the questions. So Brian with vocational rehabilitation, thank you for joining us.
All right, thank you. Again, I'm Brian Hickman. I'm the program coordinator for the division. So, Ty, if you want to hit the button. So vocational rehabilitation is a program that helps individuals that have a disability return to employment or retain the employment they have. We work with individuals that have some disabling condition, medical, physical, mental combination. We work with that individual and how that disability impedes their ability to work. And so, next slide. We work through our one of our counselors. They meet with each individual to see what their disability is, what their needs are, and what type of employment they want to go into. And we work to address all of their needs, as well as find those appropriate services. Our end goal is to help a person find a career and more than just a job. So it might take, our process takes a little longer, but the goal is to find what's best for that individual. Next, please. So for our eligibility criteria, the person needs to have a physical or mental impairment or combination of, and does that impairment impede their ability to work? It's possible to have a disability that still allows you to do the jobs that you've been trained to do in the past, but we will work with that individual to determine. We gather medical records or send you out for additional assessments at our cost to find out, to make sure we cover the whole person. Because if a person may present with one thing and after talking with them, we may come up with ideas that there's something else going on. So we want to look at the person all the way through and not just what is on the surface. The individual needs to be able to benefit from VR services, and they must need our services in order to return back or retain the employment they have. So next slide. And if a person happens to be on Social Security disability benefits, so supplemental security income or Social Security disability income, you're presumed eligible for services because Social Security has a much more rigorous process to determine if you're eligible for those benefits. So if you can pass their screening, you definitely have a disability that could benefit from our services. Next slide. And then in the application process, what we ask, and I think the next slide has some details. You can either contact our main office, or we have 16 field offices around the state. Most of them are co-located with the workforce centers. But we also will travel to another 22 locations around the state, depending on where you're at, to meet with you more locally. So you'll request an appointment. The counselor will sit down with you to review all of your information, employment history, any disabling condition you may have, and then we will determine you eligible. It can take up to 60 days to determine a person eligible based on how quickly we get medical records back. But we do try to expedite that and get that done as quick as possible. Once a person is determined eligible for services, the next step would be to write an individual plan for employment. And this is our agreement to find and help you with those services that you need to become employed. And these services, well, I'll hold there because it's another next slide, but these services are whatever it takes to get you back to work. So in these services, this is just a short list of what we can provide. Our services are tailored to the individual. So whatever the individual may need that's employment related, we will assist them with those services. And depending on where the person is financially, we may ask them to help contribute, but it's not expected. We will help the individual as much as our budgets will allow. We are a federal program, at least most of it is, so that's where our funds come from. As I said, to help determine eligibility, we may send you for additional exams, and that's our cost, because that's information that we're requesting. But if you have access to any of your medical records and you can bring them in, that would speed up our process. And then I also want to mention, I don't think I got it into the slides, you can apply at any time, and we prefer that, say you know your unemployment benefits will be running out soon, apply now, because we can get things started. Even if a person is employed somewhere, we could still potentially work with them because maybe that job is not, it's a bill payer, but not a long-term stable employment. So we encourage you to apply whenever you think you may need services, and we can walk you through the process and determine where we can help you. So if you know your benefits are running out, I encourage you to find your local office and get the application process started. I think that's all I had, Ty.
Thank you, Brian. Appreciate that. And then the locations of those vocational rehabilitation centers and the workforce centers, you can find those on wyomingworkforce.org/contact/all. We have those lists of all those different offices around the state. We do have 20 workforce centers around the state. They're not in every county, but they're in most of them. And those will be listed on that site. And like Brian said, some of the vocational rehabilitation offices are in those workforce centers. So some of those workforce centers have that somebody from the vocational rehabilitation center, or as he said, they can come to you. So anything you need to know about all of those programs that we have available, you can find at wyomingworkforce.org. That's our main website. Thank all of you for giving us that presentation, and we're going to have all of these folks on the line here for a little while to answer your questions. So we'll get to those questions here if I can figure out how to unshare my screen. But we do have a few questions so far, just a couple of questions so far. If you do have questions, use that Q&A feature and type in your question and we'll get to them. This first question is kind of for all of you guys. The person who asked the question said, I'm a military spouse with an active unemployment claim. Due to the nature of my unemployment, I was directly affected by the pandemic. I automatically qualified for the federal program, the FPUC, the $600 a week. What steps do I need to take after this current federal program expires next week? Are there any other financial options for assistance to me during this time besides my basic unemployment benefits? And do I need to reapply for additional benefits? And you've all answered that question already, but if you could kind of give a quick summary of what your different areas offer in terms of assistance or financial assistance with FPUC ending it, it might be helpful to just run through those real quick. So folks from UI, do you want to chime in real quick first?
Sure, I can go ahead and start. As far as unemployment goes, whichever program you are on, whether that be regular unemployment, the pandemic unemployment assistance, or the pandemic emergency unemployment compensation extension, as long as you still have a balance on the program that you're on, you'll continue to file your weekly continued claims for payment, same as always, and make sure you're meeting all of our requirements. Make sure you've got, your work searches, that you're registered for work. If you get to the end of the program that you're on and there is another program available, you are more than welcome to apply for it. For the regular unemployment, if that runs out, you can apply for the pandemic emergency unemployment compensation. If you run out of that, you can apply for extended benefits. And like I said, that one you actually don't apply for. It automatically rolls over once we have the program in place. If you're on pandemic unemployment assistance, it's 39 weeks, and it does not have any extensions because it already includes all of the same amount of time as regular unemployment with an extension. So that would cover all of our part of it.
Thank you. Andrea, would you like to summarize the Workforce Center and WIOA programs, please?
Sure. Especially, this is exactly what the workforce centers are there to, geared and positioned to assist you. We have the access for all of the job search. We have the workforce specialist that can help you. It sounds like WIOA, the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act, may be a really good program for you to look into. So I would recommend contacting a workforce specialist and scheduling an appointment. While you're actively engaged in an employment and training activity, there can be assistance for things such as rent or utilities while you're actively engaged looking for work. Now we have to show that, there's been, some job search and those applications that you're submitting and verifying that, or, maybe you're deciding that, unfortunately at this time with your current skills, they're outdated and there's no opportunities. So maybe we will look at training services. And so maybe it's going back to school. I know someone mentioned it could even be a registered apprenticeship or an apprenticeship opportunity through an on-the-job training opportunity. So really check in with those workforce specialists to see what type of assistance that you could leverage. Also just keep in mind that with WIOA, we do have to explore all other community resources and avenues first. So WIOA is usually intended to be, last resort. So we also work with any of our community partners, including 211.
Thank you, Andrea. And Brian, would you like to give us a quick, short synopsis of the vocational rehabilitation also, please?
As far as financial services, things like that, any service that we provide needs to be related to the person returning back into employment. So to give it would honestly depend on the individual. We've been able to do most anything within a certain time frame and whatever budgets we have allowed. So we can continue to work with the person and help them out. And it's also important to note that we can work and collaborate together with a lot of the WIOA programs that Andrea was talking about. So we could partner together while she provides one thing, VR would provide the other. And we've done that with clients. So it might be beneficial for us to go together on a case.
Excellent. Thank you. Here's another question that came in. This person said, I received notification that I'll be laid off effective August 7th. And I believe this one's a question for UI. I'll be laid off effective August 7th. Can I start the unemployment application process now, or do I need to wait until I'm officially not working?
You actually have to wait until after your last day of work and then file for unemployment. At that point in time, we can send out all the paperwork. We'll get you going right away. We pay weekly, so the turnaround should be pretty quick. But yeah, the way our system is set up, you have to be unemployed first.
Thank you. Andrea, this question's for you. Can dislocated workers access the opportunities of the apprenticeship program? And that's one of our grant opportunities for, a lot of those are for, just to fill people in a little bit, a lot of those are for businesses to help train their employees.
Yes, that is an option of the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act for dislocated workers.
Thank you. And then you can get to information about that on our website at wyomingworkforce.org. And the helpful links in front of you here have some of those things. I actually don't have a link to our homepage up there, but it's just wyomingworkforce.org is our main page. You can find out information on any of these programs there. We have our frequently asked questions also on there. You can use those links, or you can go to the homepage, and up in the upper right-hand corner, we have tabs for frequently asked questions for these town halls. We've done quite a few of these town halls now, and we have recordings to all of those, as well as the questions that were asked and the answers to those questions posted on that town halls page. Again, it's either at that link there, or you can go to our main page up in the upper right-hand side of the page. There's a link to it right there. I don't see any more questions. Marva, Amy, Kay, Andrea, Christina, and Brian, I appreciate you guys all taking time out to fill people in on what we have available. But those of you who tuned in to find out what is available, I appreciate you guys taking the time to see what we can do for you. And if you have any questions, feel free to stop in at your local workforce center, or if you have questions that have to do with UI, we've got the phone numbers are 307. I've got so many numbers on my brain, I'm losing them. 307-473-3789, or you can call our 888-674-7699 with UI questions. Or you can, as I said, you can get a hold of your workforce center, and they can put you in touch with the people you need to talk to. So thank you all for tuning in. We will see you on our next town hall. If you click on that virtual town hall series link on our website, we'll have the information for the next town hall posted there as soon as we have one scheduled. Thanks again, and have a wonderful day.